I don't know what's wrong with people. Every time someone finds out that I have a whiskey collection, they want to know what the worst, most disgusting bottle that I have is, or what the worst, most rancid tasting bottle I've ever bought is. Like, you guys are all just some giant collection of masochists or something. I guess we'll just talk about it, but roll the intro. All right, guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. This is not going to be a fun video for me. This is, we're going to talk about, we got 7 or 8, 9 bottles that I regret buying the most because they're just kind of disgusting. One of my coworkers found out that I collect whiskey, and instead of oh, that's super cool, how'd you get into it, or something like that, it's like, what's the worst bottle you own? Like, what kind of sicko, that's where their mind jumps first. So I guess we'll just jump into these bottles that I regret buying most because they are awful. But yeah, first one should be literally no surprise to any of you who have been drinking whiskey for more than 5 seconds. It's Dickel. It's a Dickel product. Yeah, this is the number 12 recipe. The reason that I bought this years and years and years ago was I saw the big number 12 on the front and didn't do any homework, so I kind of assumed it was 12 years old, which is my mistake. It's 90 proof, obviously out of Cascade Hollow. I will say I don't completely hate the Dickel bottled and bond stuff, but this is not good. This bottle is probably 6 or 7 years old, and it's maybe halfway gone, not even. You guys can kind of see the fill level there. It's just not very good. It's got that real minerally Flintstone vitamin taste to it that I don't like at all. And it's kind of thin at 90 proof. It's just not something I enjoy drinking a whole lot of or ever. So, yeah. And the next bottle is kind of adjacent to that. I bought this because it was a very old bottling, and I thought it might have been kind of cool or have some value to it or something. So kind of the same deal. It's George Dickel, but it's young and at 80 proof. This is the George Dickel Cascade Hollow. Yeah, the sour mash, I don't know. It says 3 years right on the side there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just young George Dickel. I ordered a pour of this at a bar because I didn't want to open mine. And I truly hope I can find somebody who will at least give me my money back for this bottle at some point, because maybe it's kind of cool, but it's terrible. It's really, really bad. So I never opened mine and hope that I might be able to get some of my investment back out of it, but we'll see. Next up, what list would be complete without a Beam product? Old Tub. Now, when this first came to Michigan, I was super excited because it was previously a distillery-only bottled and bond Jim Beam bourbon. And I was like, okay, if it's distillery only, it's got to be halfway decent. Nope, turns out it can still suck. This is just not good. This bottle's been hanging around for 4 or 5 years. I can still remember exactly where I bought it, and that store has since gone out of business. And it's just not good. It's bad. It's got a nutty astringency to it with a weird medicinal cherry, Sepacol note. Any of you who have ever had a Sepacol lozenge will kind of get what I'm saying. Gross. 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 The other Beam bottle on this list is the Jim Beam Choice. Aged 5 years at 80 proof, has been since discontinued. No wonder it's been discontinued, guys. Dude, it freaking sucks. Okay? This is probably one of the older bottles of it that I have. I can still kind of find it in the area once in a while, and that's because nobody wants to drink it. It's 80 proof, 5-year-old Jim Beam. And yeah, it's not very good. It has this weird kind of tannic leather peanut shell vibe thing going on. I don't know. There's some people that love this stuff. I am not one of those people. This thing has been open for 3 or 4 years, and yeah, I mean, I think I've had 2 pours out of this at an ounce a piece. Not great. like at all. You can see stuff has kind of started collecting in the bottom. That's great. That's really good. We like that. Okay. The next one is technically whiskey, I guess. This is a non-alcoholic whiskey, which I purchased in Canada from the place where all things awful come from, the mall. Yeah, this is mall whiskey. It's half a percentage alcohol by volume. It is legally classified as a non-alcoholic distilled spirit, and I thought maybe it'd be kind of cool because like I can see like sediment and stuff in here. So like clearly it's been aged in some capacity. It's copper pot distilled. This is so bad. This is like if you took a metal bucket of water and maybe hairspray, and then you soaked pieces of cardboard and popsicle stick in it, and then you added even more water to thin it out. That's kind of what this tastes like. It's awful. I did a review video on it to see if like non-alcoholic whiskey could actually be fun. Shocker, it's not. The alcohol is the fun part of whiskey. This is so bad. It's so bad. It's a non-alcoholic single malt from a Spirits, Libres, something or other. I don't know. Free Spirits, French Canadian. Who knows? I don't know. It's something that the world never needed and got anyways. So there's that one. This was bought as more of a gag, and it's kind of terrible. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey. It is, I will say, transparent. It does have a mash bill listed on it. 52% corn, 27% malted barley, 17% wheat, and 4% rye. So it is a 4-grain, but it's 80 proof. And obviously, very clear. It says right on the label, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that or not, it's aged 5 seconds. Yeah, this is not good. This is the antithesis of good. It's ungood. It's terrible. Yeah, and don't foresee myself drinking any of that, maybe ever again. The next one, I shouldn't have expected this to be halfway decent, but I kind of did because it's at least 3 years old based on the label. Yeah, Heaven Hill Quality House, 40%. Even as a mixer, this stuff sucks. It's just not. I will pay the extra couple dollars and get like, I don't know, Evan Williams Black or Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. I mean, I like Heaven Hill, but this ain't it. A 3-year-old 80 proof bourbon that just, like, I'm pretty sure I've peed a color darker than that before. I don't know if that's a powerful indictment for you guys or not, but this just, I don't know. I feel like I bought this at a time in my whiskey journey where I was like kind of hunting the Heaven Hill white label, and maybe I'd already been drinking and I'm not really sure, but yeah, just not good. Not good. Some people might like it as a cocktail whiskey. I don't. I think it's thin and awful. You know, whatever. And the last one, this one's a huge disappointment because I just recently bought this and I had very high expectations. This is the Gryffinclaw Rail District Rye Whiskey. So on paper, this thing should be a killer. Okay, this should be awesome. The presentation is fantastic. The labeling is awesome. The price tag is good. It's in the right area. I mean, I think I paid $80 for this. Now the specs are, it is a 10-year-old, 100 proof, 100% rye, handmade and bottled here in Michigan. Okay, now the bourbon that I have that is the counterpart to this, that is also 10 years old and 100 proof, absolutely freaking fantastic. Has some of the most unique and deep flavor notes I've ever had. This one has none of that. This one tastes more like some type of weird, perverse apple cider vinegar. There's no rye, there's no spice. It's like somebody mixed a craft ale, or not a craft ale even, like a craft lager with some apple juice and some vinegar, and that's what this is. And it hurts me to talk like that about this because I really like Gryffinclaw. I really like Gryffinclaw. Their beers, their whiskeys. This one this one's not even 10 years. This is almost 11 years old. It's like 10 years and 9 months. It sucks. I will go back to it again in another few months and see if maybe it changed a little bit. But Courtney and I tasted it It's just not good. If you guys go to the distillery, please, by all means, try their other stuff. Their Mr. Blue Sky whiskey is very good. Their Mr. Blue Sky beer is very good. Their bourbon, pretty top notch. The Railcar Rye was a miss for me. And at 10 years old, I don't know how it got to be this bad. Yeah. So there we go, guys. These sycophants asked for it, and there it is. Like 8 bottles that I hugely regret buying because they're disgusting. Not just because they weren't as good as I wanted them to be or be let down. Like every one of them is disgusting in their own right. So there you go. I hope you're all happy. Now I'm going to wrestle with depression for the next couple hours. So if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, or don't. Whatever. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.